Hello there, people of the internet. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. So, I got in the mail the other day something I've been wanting for a little while now. I wanted a short-barreled 1851 chambered in 44 caliber since I have a bunch of 44 round ball. But I went ahead and I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and finally get around to ordering one of these. So this is a percussion cap revolver, so it does not take actual cartridges. And I am using oversized 457 diameter balls just to go ahead and ensure that we don't get any chain fires in the cylinder. Real quick, sorry for the interruption, but I'm trying to get Patreon and Utreon support to assist me with making more content like what you're watching right here. So if you want to help me make more content and make it more often, then Utreon and Patreon links are in the description below. Obviously, the things I'm doing here are not free and much of it is not cheap. So I would like to be able to do more, but I need support to do it. So like I said, links below. I don't have these lubed up, well, they are lubed bullets. I don't have them with sealant grease on them, simply because we're out here at the range and I'm going to go ahead and put these rounds down range. Now this is fresh out of the box. I did fire one singular round just to go ahead and test functionality and see where the damn thing is hitting, and I did hit the box, so that definitely bodes well for this thing being at least remotely accurate. Out at the, I don't know, 15 yards or so, maybe 12 that we're currently at. What I have here, I was uncertain as to whether or not this Pietta took number 10 or number 11 caps. I'm pretty sure, well, I was fairly certain that they were going to take number 10, and they do in fact take number 10 caps. I have several black powder revolvers that take number 11 caps, but those were bought used, and it would appear that the nipples were swapped at one point in time, and I intend to swap out the number 10 nipples on this percussion cap revolver to a number 11 nipple, simply because all of my other stuff is in number 11, and I have a lot of number 11 percussion caps. Versus my, oh, I don't know, this amount of number 10 caps, so not very many. These are 143 grain, 457 diameter balls that I'm using. I imagine that they're probably a little less since I shaved off the edges of, the edges of the ball whenever you ram that thing home. I did go ahead and confirm that every single ball that I loaded had that little ring of lead to ensure that it was a tight seal so we don't have any chain fires. There are no patches, no wads, no anything like that. This is literally just powder and ball, and it's more than adequate for what we are doing here today. I have 20 grains of triple F powder in this thing. If I was, if this was the 1850s and I was using this for defensive purposes, I would probably load it with something more like 30 grains of black powder. But since we're here at the range and I'm shooting at a cardboard box, 20 grains of black powder is going to be absolutely plenty. Now these are safe to load, all 6 chambers, and I do have all 6 chambers in this thing loaded. There's actually a little notch in between the cylinders that you can rest your hammer on, and that will actually lock it in place, so you can safely carry with every single chamber loaded, unlike the later 1873 cartridge guns, which you needed to have a chamber empty so you could safely load your hammer down on that chamber. Alright, so the first thing I did whenever I got this thing was I immediately cut myself. So, like, as soon as I picked it up and started finagling with it, I managed to cut myself. I discovered that because of this significantly shorter ramrod, loading rod right here, you have significantly less leverage to loading your oversized round balls. So I discovered that it required quite a bit more force to load these things. Now, the percussion nipples on this revolver, like I said, are brand spanking new, and as a result, they're not worn in yet. Loading the number 10 caps on for a couple of them was a little on the difficult side, and they didn't quite seat properly, so we might get a couple of hang fires, and as they wear in, it'll be much easier to load these number 10 caps onto this thing, or if I swap it out to number 11, I'm going to have the same issue until those nipples wear in properly. That's one hell of a sentence. But we might have some hang fires here just because some of the number 10 caps did not properly seat. That's not a fault of the firearm itself. I mean, all guns require a break-in period whenever they're fresh out of the box. So these are no different. So I have 6 shots. I'm going to go ahead and just aim at my box down there. I have 1 shot already on the box. Let's put a few more, shall we? I'm gonna aim for the place that I hit before. Let's see how close we get. Alright, so this does appear to fire. Since I was aiming at the bottom of the box before, knowing that these revolvers fire high, I aimed at the shot that I had made before off camera whenever I was testing this thing out. And we shot the same distance high, so I would say roughly 4 inches high or so. So I'm going to use that same point as my reference here. And let's go ahead and send another round downrange. Whew. Alright, that one only shot about 2 inches high or so. And very interesting. Let's send a third one here. Oh, and my box fell over. What are you doing? Get back up, you bastard. Alright, so far it's been reliable. No hang fires, no bang clicks, no anything like that. There might have been some oil and whatnot in the nipples, although I did a pretty good job of cleaning out all the factory oil that this thing ships in. But there still might be some oil built up in the nipples or something, and I was expecting maybe we'd have not really a bang, but more of a puff whenever the nipple goes off, but it doesn't set off the gunpowder, but nothing like that so far. We're gonna set this box back up. Okay, well, we actually have 2 shots right next to each other, and these are only shooting like 2 inches high. So we went from shooting 4 inches high consistently to consistently shooting 2 inches high. Maybe this thing's straightening itself out now that all the factory funk is blown out of the barrel in this thing. I'm going to go ahead and toss that spent percussion cap out. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, I feel like aiming for that same spot would be a waste. I'm going to aim, I see a little crease in the box. I'm positive it's not going to show up on camera, but I see a little crease in the box. I'm going to aim like 2 inches under that crease to see if we hit that crease or if we hit above it. Well, we pretty much nailed it. Spot on. Alright, so that's pretty sweet. Get out of here, you. Let's go ahead and send another round here. This is actually a pretty nice little revolver, dude. Yeah, that was about, oh, I don't know, 2 inches to the right. But we still nailed it again. Let's send another round here. Get out of there. Alright, I see a barcode on the very left edge of the box. I'm going to see if I can hit that, but that might be a little ambitious here. Did I hit it? I was just under it. Darn. Oh well. So, all 6 fired without problem. That's actually really awesome. Whew, it's a little warm now. I'm not looking forward to the brass on this frame here dirtying. I like how shiny it is, and of course it's going to dirty since this is black powder. Of course I can re-shine it, but still, it's re-shined brass just is not the same. Alright, here's our box. This was the first shot, and then I aimed for that shot and hit probably about, like I said, about 4 inches high or so. Actually, that might be more like 3 inches. And then I fired another 2 rounds at that same point of aim, and we hit 1, 2 right here, right above it, probably about 1.5 inches high or so. And then there's a little crease in the box right about here that I was aiming at, and I managed to damn near hit it. This one right here might be a little bit under it. And then I tried hitting the little barcode right here on the very side of the box, and I actually did nick the corner, but I was a little bit underneath it. I figured that shot might be a little ambitious with, you know, round ball, but technically, I mean, that is still a hit. It's just barely grazing, but that is still a hit. Look at that. Alright, well, I am very pleasantly surprised with the performance of this. I tend to not have very good luck with black powder revolvers, but this one right here actually seems to have paid off very, very well. As a matter of fact, I normally use 4.57 oversized balls, but I have some 4.54 diameter balls that I want to go ahead and I'm going to go grab like a couple of them, and I want to see how big that sealed ring is. I think that they're going to be alright in a new manufactured Pietta. I have some old, like really old Piettas from, I don't know, I've had them for a decade now, where 4.54 just, it doesn't give me the seal that I want. That's why I use 4.57. But this right here really spits off a large ring of lead, so I think 454 diameter would work well in this one as well. And I hope so, because I can get 454 diameter from my local locales. I can get 454 diameter projectiles easier than 457 just because of what they normally have in stock. Alright, well I just shoved a 454 diameter in there, and sure enough, we have ourselves an adequately sized, complete ring of lead, so I think 454 diameter bullets will work fine. In this Pietta here, like I said, I have older ones that they just don't work in, and 457 is absolutely the way to go. And I actually have a Brescia that is a 44 caliber according to that, but even 457 doesn't give me that ring, so I have to bump it up to like, hell, a 46 caliber would probably be ideal. Well, I have this loaded. Let's go ahead and load around here. Alright, one single round of 454 diameter projectile in this thing. I went ahead and I laid the box on its side, although the flaps on the box are beginning to open up. I'm still going to try and hit like the square center side of this box right here. Let's see if I manage to pull it off. Let's see if 454 diameter shoots higher or lower than 457. Seems to shoot about the same. I was aiming center and looks like we hit, oh, I don't know, I'd call that an 1.5 inch high. So here's our box. Here's the middle of the box where I was aiming, and yeah, that's probably about 1.5 inch high. I'm pleased to see that this thing's not shooting as high as it was earlier. In a later video, I'll have to take this thing out to a distance, and we'll have to see how high it shoots at, you know, something that's more beyond just the bare minimum amount of distance that we're using here. But this was still a really fun test. I'm glad that this thing works as well as it does. I was a little, like I said, I don't have good luck with black powder cap and ball revolvers. It seems like every time I get my hands on one of them, they're finicky, and they don't, what am I trying to say here? They're inconsistent with what they like and what they don't like. Like I said, I got some that I can use these 454 diameter balls in, and some that I can. I got some that are a number 11 cap, some that are a number 10 cap apparently now. I've got ones that hit like 18 inches high, and I've got ones that hit like 2 inches high, and there's a lot of variation with cap and ball revolvers, but I am pleased to see that this one is not only reliable, it's also accurate, and it doesn't shoot all that high. So now I get to play the disassembly and cleaning game because this is black powder. So I have my nipple wrench right here, and oh, hello there. Okay, that thing's gonna fly around there, I guess. And basically all I do is I take the gun apart and I run it under hot water, everything except for the brass frame back here because I don't want to get water in there. It sits stagnantly, so I just kind of use a rag on that one as opposed to actually running water through that one. But the cylinder and the barrel and the everything else besides the frame, I literally just run hot water through it, and then I dry it off, and then I put some oil on it, and that normally stops the rusting problem. Now, you're not supposed to oil black powder firearms because the oil can stop the powder from burning all that effectively. So whenever I do oil the cylinders inside of the black powder revolver here, and I do because I store them for long periods of time, and I live in Florida and it's humid and things get rusty whenever they're not oiled. Whenever I do, I just use like a very, very small amount of oil, and I haven't noticed that causing any issues with ignition. Anyway, folks, I appreciate your time. Thank you ever so much for watching. I got this last night, but it was already dark, and I was very excited to take this thing out and run it and see how well it ran. I've been wanting a little short-barreled revolver, a little short-barreled cap and ball revolver for quite some time, and I decided to go ahead and get myself an 1851 pattern as opposed to something else like the new model Army or something like that. I wanted something that had an open top. I probably should have gone with one that had a steel frame. This way I could throw a conversion cylinder in it. You don't want to throw a conversion cylinder in one that has a brass frame, but I mean, this will work well enough. I did get it to shoot black powder round ball though, because I have a bunch of black powder round ball 457 and 454. Those percussion cap nipples definitely need to be swapped out to number 11s though. There's nothing wrong with number 10s. I just have way more number 11s than I have number 10s. Alright, well folks, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check that out, and you guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I gotta clean up all of this mess, and I have somewhere to be in half an hour, and I still gotta take a shower. And there's Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Aren't you looking all majestic today? What are you up to? You heard it here, folks. Kevin is officially up to... And he's leaving. Okay, bye, Kevin. Alright, let me gather my stuff here. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. Oh my god. We're reaching the point of the year where eggnog is going to be available. Hell yeah, I'm excited for that. Alright, grab my stuff. You guys go off, have a fantastic day, like I said.
Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garrett. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.